Pokemon is the largest entertainment brand in the entire world, meaning it has made more money than any other entertainment brand ever, currently sitting at $100 billion. All this to say, Pokemon is unbelievably popular all around the world, so when a Mandela effect happens to Pokemon, you better believe people notice. I've covered other Pokemon Mandela effects before, like the Tentaquill mystery, but today we're talking about the original, Pikachu's tail. Pikachu is the main icon for Pokemon. This electric mouse is a household name for most people under 30, and its iconic look has gone through some changes over the years. Originally quite the bigger fellow, Pikachu has slimmed down quite a bit, but its overall design and look has changed very little otherwise. He's perfect. Anyway, the main point of contention is Pikachu's tail. As it is now, it has a little bit of brown at the bottom of its tail, but there are quite a few out there that believe it used to have black at the tip instead. Some have written this off as too similar to Pikachu's ears, while others have said no, that's the point, it's a similar look and aesthetic. Where do you stand on all this? Which is right? Well, as it goes now, the brown at the bottom has always been there and the black tip has almost never existed. In fact, the residue for black tip tail on Pikachu is some of the hardest to find today. Early artwork, books, trading cards, the original games, and commercials, all of them only show the brown tail now. So either an unbelievable amount of people are remembering this wrong, or something has changed. And that something is what we call the Mandela effect. Some of the very few examples we have of a black tip tail Pikachu today are things that came out after the origins of Pokemon, so past the original point that everyone is speaking of. One example is cosplay Pikachu, who has a black heart at the end of its tail, but it isn't perfect either. Nowadays, they make it so that there's a curved heart-like tip at the end of all female Pikachus, but I'm old enough to remember when they didn't do that. So this is a cool throwback, but it isn't what we all remember. Next is a quick flash of Pikachu with the correct tail in the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime opening. It's only there for a split second, but that is the tail that so many of us remember. Why in this specific scene though is it black when everywhere else in the intro and the show it isn't? Is it an animator or a colorist just being cute? Maybe it's a throwback to the classic days? Or is it possible it's just the circular shadow continuing across its body? Sadly, it's probably that. The truth is out there, somewhere. Another explanation people sometimes bring up is Pikachu's earlier form, Pichu, because Pichu has a black tail. Now the tip of Pichu's tail is black, and some could argue maybe we're confusing these two. I would argue that isn't the case though, because when Pokemon first came out over here in America, Pichu did not exist yet. This was the original 151 Pokemon days, so Pichu couldn't have been an influence. It didn't exist. This one is seemingly unimportant, and I totally get that, especially if you're not a Pokemon fan, but to the people who do remember it, it's deeply troubling.